this. Just kidding.
Good morning. This is Think and Drive Live on Star 99. Thank you for joining us on the air and on our website, drgnews.com. Also, a giant thank you goes out to the following schools for attending here today at the Share How Event Center: Mobridge Pollock, Waukpala, Harriet, Eureka, Selby area, McLaughlin, Little Eagle, Timberlake, Gettysburg, and the Aberdeen Treatment Center. Just as a reminder, students, if you have cell phones, we ask that you please turn them off. We don't want you to mute them. We don't want you to turn them down. Simply turn them completely off here today. Also, this is a 2-hour program. We ask that you don't get up and use the restroom. Again, it's just 2 hours. Normally, that's not too much to ask. We hope this will be a very memorable presentation for everybody. It has been huge in the past few years. I would also like to thank some of our sponsors here today: Northwest Beverage, Montana Dakota Utilities, Dakota Bank, Walworth County Implement, Great Western Bank, CHS Northern Plains, Mobridge Regional Hospital and Clinics, First State Bank of Roscoe, Hovind Co-op, Lock and Oil LLC, Campbell County Bank and Insurance Agency, Camwall Electric, State Farm Insurance, Doug Heil, Lucky's Gas and More, Automotive Company of Isabel, Farm Bureau Insurance, Linda Gosh, Mosher's Main Street Market of McLaughlin, Key Insurance, Great Plains Bank of Eureka, Cahill Bauer and Associates, Selby Veterinary Services, Marin Beal Insurance, Harriet Value Market, Gas and Goodies, Harriet Concrete, Morrow Grand Electric, and the Kessling Funeral Home. Over the past years, we have had countless speakers give details of their personal tragedy and hope that one day, when you come face to face with difficult decisions, that you make the right choice. Today, I get the pleasure of introducing our speakers, Anthony and AJ Farinacci, Harmony McKee, and Ken Ripley. From the Waukapala High School, please help me in welcoming our first guest, Harmony McKee.
Hiano Ashte Nape Chiuzapi Harmony McKee Machiapi. Good morning, everyone. My name is Harmony McKee. I just want to thank you all for coming and taking time out of your school day to be here. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I'm currently a sophomore at Waukpala Public School, 16 years old, and come from a family of 7. Some of you may know me. I see a lot of familiar faces out in the crowd. So some of you heard of me through rumors. I know some of you may dislike me, but that's okay. I'm not here to be liked. I'm here to tell you about my experience with depression and anxiety. I want to tell you that there's always hope. I know that some of you here are suffering from depression and anxiety, and I know that you guys are where I am at. Oh my God. I know that you guys are where I was at one point. I sat there and had so many people talk to me and told me to speak up and get help. My depression and anxiety started at a young age. I didn't know about depression or anxiety at the time. I was in the 6th grade and had no clue why I was feeling this way. There were times where I couldn't breathe in class. I felt so lost and confused in my own head. I was trapped with all these negative thoughts. I cried all the time in school and when I got home. My depression developed from all the traumas that I faced in my childhood. I was abused and neglected by my own mother. There were times that she would leave and never come back. And when she did come back, she had been drinking and reeked of alcohol. She would always fight and argue with my father, and being around that much negative really messed me up emotionally and physically. I have been bullied throughout my middle school and high school years so far. I was bullied by people who I thought were my friends. I ended up losing some of those people for good. Yes, it hurt to lose my friends, but were they really my friends to begin with? Probably not. Once I got into high school, the bullying got worse. Girls were meaner than in middle school. I was bullied for my body type. The rumors I heard were way worse than what they were in middle school. Rumors like I stuffed my bras, I slept with everyone in my school that I got around. Coming into high school, I heard that I got a boob job my 8th grade year. These kinds of rumors made me feel so insecure about my own body. And now, it's hard for me to dress the way I want and like the way I look. I still hear rumors about myself today, and it hurts. During all this confusion, I had so many people there by my side, but I pushed everyone away. I didn't want anybody to see me like this. By pushing people away, I lost them for good. They were just trying to help me get through my bad times. There were times that I would want to end it all. I didn't want to be alive anymore. I just had enough of being trapped inside my head with all the negative thoughts. My depression got worse over time. People disliking me, calling me down, brought me down to a really low level. I self-harmed in so many places. Now in these places, my scars are a huge reminder of what I did. And it was a bad choice to do. This coming fall will mark 2 years that my little sister committed suicide because of bullying. Going through this kind of loss put me in a really deep, dark hole. Last August, I lost my brother to a car accident. I was lost. I didn't want to believe it. The day I lost my best friend. Last November, I was supposed to be sent to treatment, but didn't go. I was scared people were going to judge me for going. I was scared people at my school were going to talk about it. My negative thoughts come back from time to time, but I don't let them get to me now. I have people there for me and that care. Please don't push people away that are just trying to help you. I'm trying my hardest to become better for myself and for my family. This coming fall, I want to go into the National Guard. That's been my goal since like 6th grade, maybe 5th. Once I started telling people that's what I wanted, people told me I couldn't do it. They didn't have the motivation to do it, that I was too much of a girly girl to do it. And this fall, I'm going to prove them wrong. I also want to go to college for a nursing degree. I'm going to become a successful person, whether the people that dislike me like it or not. So if you are in that place of depression and have anxiety, it's never bad to reach out or ask for help or just to talk to somebody you trust. If you want to reach out to me, go ahead. I'm just a message away. It's not that hard. You may not know me, but I'll help you because I know exactly how it feels. Because at one point, I felt like I had nobody. But honestly, I had so many people. I had friends. I had my parents, my aunties, my grandma. And I care, really do. I don't like seeing people in the place that I was in. Set a goal for yourself and achieve it. Make your living worth it. Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you, Harmony, and thank you all. You're listening to Think and Drive Live on Star 99.
Hi, this is Michelle Jerome from Northwest Beverage. Do you remember the last time you said, "Wow, I'm sorry. I didn't think that could happen"? Guess what? Every time you choose to drink and then get behind that wheel and drive, those words could be said about you. Wow. I never thought it would happen. The fact is that bad things do happen to you. Please think before you get behind that wheel.
The Holden Co-op, we're proud to sponsor this Think and Drive program. Hi, this is Amber. The future of our communities starts with our kids. Talk to your kids about what they observed at the program today and difficult issues they face every day.
And we're with you. This is Rick. Talk to your kids about decisions. They won't get easier as they get older. So let's shape their skills and keep them positively thinking about cause and effect. Their choices affect all of us. It's not easy, but it's reality. We support you from all of us at the Holden Co-op.
Some people just have a knack for being there when you need them the most. Like your third grade classmate who sticks up for you against that bully. The neighbor who gives you a jump start. And the friend who chases away that flock of geese at your outdoor wedding. Your State Farm agent has your back too, through good times and the not so good. And who's got your agent's back? State Farm, the company people have trusted for more than 90 years. We're here to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Doug Heil at 845-3603 today.
If you've been thinking about getting a new skid steer, now's the time with great deals at Linsco Implement, Mobridge, and Automotive Company in Isabel. Hi, this is Dale, inviting you to take advantage of great cash discounts or 0% financing for 60 months on all carryover New Holland L228 skid loaders. These skid steers have a 2,800-pound lift capacity, 74 horse, and a 2-speed transmission and a cab with air, heat, and radio. For your next new New Holland skid steer, give us a call at Linsco Implement, Mobridge, or the Automotive Company in Isabel.
Cam Wall Electric in Selby is proud to once again sponsor this Think and Drive program. The future of everyone's community starts with today's youth. That's why Cam Wall Electric is proud to support this program, to remind young adults how important they are as positive role models in the community. The choices they make today will affect all of their tomorrows. Enjoy today's program and take the time to talk to your kids about difficult issues. Cam Wall Electric of Selby, here for the future.
Looking for tires? Look no further than Lucky's Gas and More in Mobridge. They carry Hankook, Hercules, Kelly's, Wild Country, Sigma Regent, and more for your cars, trucks, or semis. Right now you can get up to $100 off a set of Hankook tires. Don't forget to schedule your oil change too while you're there. Choose from a large selection of tires on hand and save. Give them a call at 845-3382 to find out what deals they have on tires for you at Lucky's Gas and More in Mobridge.
First State Bank of Roscoe, Bowdle, and Eureka branches would like to remind all of our area youth as prom and graduation seasons approach to please be safe. We hope that you make many memories with friends and family in the upcoming months, but more importantly that you be responsible so that you are able to share those memories for years to come. First State Bank of Roscoe wants to see you be part of our communities in Roscoe, Bowdle, and Eureka for many years to come. Member FDIC.
CHS Northern Plains looks ahead, down the road, and into the future of farming. No one is born with awesome decision-making skills. It's learned and strengthened the more often you make decisions. We want you to look ahead to your future as well. Gather information, don't be afraid to ask for advice, and know the consequences or reward for every decision. Because as you get better at making decisions, the decisions you face in life will only become more challenging. Think and drive and stay alive. A message from CHS Northern Plains.
Jennifer Flynn came across something that no mother should ever have to witness. Her daughter, Katie, had been decapitated. One of the first responders on the scene was Michael, the bride's uncle and a policeman himself. He had been at the wedding just hours earlier. I was walking to the rear of the limousine when a gentleman was coming away from it, and he said, "Don't go back there, it's bad," Michael said. I opened the rear door to the limousine and realized it was my family. But tragically, the worst was yet to come. Michael would witness Jennifer emerging from the wreck with her daughter's head in her hands. Katie's body remained in the car, still in the dress she had proudly worn for the wedding only a few hours ago. For the next hour, Jennifer sat next to the road. She kept Katie's head in her lap and watched as the rest of her family was freed from the wreckage of the destroyed vehicle. Eventually, she let her daughter go, handing her to Michael. Before she did so, she kissed her daughter's face one last time. This event altered the lives of the whole family. Martin Hygen was sentenced to 18 years in prison for 2 counts of second-degree murder. though nothing, of course, can ever bring back Jennifer's daughter. Jennifer and Neil have bravely chosen to talk openly about their story in the hope that it might prevent a similar catastrophe from happening again. I hope that by experiencing the devastation that we survived that night and still continue to live through, people can see the seriousness of drunk driving as the crime it really is. Hopefully, we will save more in the future. Thank you.
At this time, we would like to welcome to the stage or floor AJ Farinacci, or Anthony, I'm sorry, Anthony.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. I am, if you can't recognize, I'm the father. I know I look young, but he's my son. I'm afraid of heights, so I'm going to stay down here. The reason I like getting down on the floor is I really like talking to people when I'm close to them, because this is a real serious situation we're going to talk about today. A couple things I'm going to ask of you. One is,
yeah, if you want.
Parachutes work best when they're open, so keep an open mind, number one. Number two, pay attention. Number three, pay attention. And number four, pay attention. You don't always get an opportunity to talk to someone who has survived 12 years, heroin, drug addiction, and still can talk to them, and he can help you. I'm lucky, as a parent, to be standing here introducing him, because so many times I've seen him laying on his deathbed because of overdosing, getting some bad stuff. All that's out there, and you guys know it. But we make poor decisions as we grow up, and you don't realize it until you're older. That, wow, if I didn't make that, I could have done this. That wish that should have is a bad, bad thing to be thinking about your whole life. And I still do it. And the fact is, you make the bad decisions not because you want to make them. You make them because your friends want you to make them. You think they're your friends, but they just want you to do what they're doing so they don't feel like they're doing something wrong. It's awful hard, too, as a parent, to watch your child go through what you're going to hear about today. There are some pictures on the stage. Every one of those pages is when he went to prison. Not one prison, all those are prisons. And you're going to hear about what it's like to be in prison. And then what happens when you get out, when you make another poor decision, thinking you're okay, and find out you tried something that might have been laced. Next thing you know, you're dying again because of a poor decision. So I would just encourage everybody to listen, look at some of the pictures we're going to be showing, and really, really give this some serious thought when someone approaches you and says, hey, come on, try this. Because you can end up not where AJ is. I stuck by AJ because I didn't believe in tough love. Tough love is where you say, pick up your room, take the garbage out, and you stay on them for that. When your child's going through this drug addiction, tough love is something that I feel pushes them away closer to the drug. So I never gave him an ultimatum about, this is my house, my rules, or you can leave. Because I knew if he left, he was going to see one of his friends that wanted him to be like them. And I'm not saying he didn't leave and go running, because he did. But I became addicted myself. I became addicted to him. And I ran and ran every time he ran. The 12 years he was addicted, I couldn't even focus on life. I just kept running. Every time I seen him run, I ran, trying to find out who's he getting it from, where it is. And a lot of times, I would just take him and bring him home because I knew he was home. You don't only hurt yourself when you do something like this, you hurt everybody in your family. And you don't realize that until you're at his point. When you hear today of some of the things he did to me, to everybody in the family. Because once you're in prison and you come out, you see those people again. And they know that you stole from them for drugs. And the next thing you find out, nobody wants to be around you anymore. And that just keeps pushing you away. So please, make the right decision. Take this and really think about it. We have addresses that I think everybody can get. Parents who are listening that ever want to call me, there are signs that you can look at and notice that, hey, something's wrong here. And you need to approach them on it. And they're going to yell at you and make you feel like you're crazy. And they're going to say, they want you to feel like you should have never, ever asked that question, because they don't want you to ask that question again. But you got to stay on top of it. You got to stay behind your kids. God gave us the blessing of having children. We cannot leave them without somebody to help them. And it's our job. And now I'm going to introduce my son, AJ, and he's ready to roll here. Thank you very much for coming.
How's everybody doing? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me good? Yeah? All right. You guys are all like stiff. Loosen up a little bit. All right? And how many seniors we have in here? Raise your hand. Stand up. Stand up. Everybody clap for them seniors. Right? That's a long time to be in school, isn't it? You guys got to do good, okay? My name is AJ Farinacci. I used to be a pretty crazy dope fiend, but I'm here today to talk to you guys like real, because a lot of times through school and through our childhood, our parents or our peers really don't know the game. They really don't know the hustle. They don't know the lingo. It's a whole different world when you are in the midst of using. It becomes, you live two lifestyles. One when you're home in front of mom and daddy, and one every single day. And it becomes very, very crazy. So, I was born and raised in upstate New York, not in the city. I was on a dairy farm area, far away, not a drug area at all. But I could get to the city in about an hour, so it was pretty convenient. What happened here is, in school, I was a good athlete. I struggled. I was in resource room. I'm sure there's some people here in resource room. I don't know if it's called that anymore, but that's what it was called when I was in school. And that was real difficult. Basketball was the only thing that kept me in school. And when I was a senior, when I was a junior, I tried out for the basketball team. I believe I was the best one there, and I'll still believe that to this day. But my attitude and the way I conducted myself in high school got me cut. And it was devastating to me. Devastating. I never thought I would get cut from a hoop team at all. And from that day on, can you guys still hear me? Yeah? Good. from that day on, it just was. Hold on for a quick second. We're having a little trouble here. Earpiece. Can you guys just switch over to the mic, maybe? Because it's just not staying on. Please. Thank you. Sure. All right. Can you guys hear me now? Better. I feel better. It was the most devastating thing in my life. I can remember going back to school the next day, walking in the hallways, knowing and thinking everybody knows I got cut from the team. And from that day on, my life changed. I looked at the principal. I told him I was going to quit school. And he told me, well, I'll see you working at the nearest gas station. And I said some things that I shouldn't have said. And I took off. And I was raised in a great family. Okay, I was blessed with no drugs in my house. There was no drinking. My dad's never smoked a cigarette. My sister danced with the New York City Ballet. Everybody's pretty square, and I'm a triangle. You know what I'm saying? So, what happens is when you feel that way in the family, you start distancing yourself from everybody, okay? And what I did is I went to a trade school. I met a friend that got me hooked up. I went to a trade school and I learned how to be a mason. And I learned how to do brick and block. And it was a great trade. And I started a business and it took off. And in my first 2 or 3 years, I did very, very well for an 18-year-old kid or 19-year-old kid. And the money started coming in. I had my own bank account. I had a couple trucks on the road. And I just started to, hang out with the party crowd. I always was kind of hanging out with the party crowd, but I kept with the athletes too, so it wasn't noticeable to others. Because whoever you hang out with is what you probably are going to become. That saying, if you lie with dogs, you will get fleas, is pretty much the same thing with addiction. And I started, I smoked pot, I drank, I did high school, college stuff, and, that got me into the swing of things, but I'm not going to sit here and say it got me doing harder drugs, because we have, our state is not legalized marijuana, okay? But there are many other states that have. And kids are using it for an excuse now when they get in trouble. Well, it's okay in this state, and I hear about it a lot. And you guys as kids have to, evaluate yourself and know, do I have this addictive behavior? Am I going to, lead to all these drugs? Can I go to these parties? Do I have enough self-control? Because we're kids. We're supposed to have parties. We're supposed to have fun. But it's not supposed to go to addiction. It's not supposed to go to things that are illegal. It's just to have fun. And there's a lot of things that we need to learn at this age to have fun. Because if you don't, becomes a void in your life. And when that void happens, you're going to try to find something that's going to comfort you, okay? You're going to try to find something that comforts you. I remember finding some pills. I was 19 years old, And I remember finding some pills, and I took them, and I'll tell you, a feeling came over me that, you know, I'll never forget. I loved it. And some people can take those pills and throw up and be sick and never touch them again, but some of us can take them and love them. And if you end up loving them, it's going to turn you into what I'm going to talk about. You know, I'm trying to separate here for you without saying it in the wrong way, because you could go to rehab in this town for marijuana or alcohol, and you know, your parents could put in all this money and do all this work for you, and then you could pick up and move to another state and legally do it. So we just wasted our money. So that's something you have to keep control under yourself, under your own power. And all of this is decision making and strength. There's no one that did a magic wand over me or anything like that, okay? So as I got successful, I had a child, my wife. Today, if you want to hit that, I'll show you my prom picture. We had our baby. She was a senior in high school, and I was 2 years into my business. And there it is. So I'm 38 years old now, so you can obviously tell how many years ago that was. And we had a baby at 18. I was 21, and that was a lot of pressure on me. We were living at mom and dad's, so all you ladies, listen up, okay? Because you do not want to do this in life. My wife and I, we ended up having a child at a young age, and just didn't have enough money to be on our own to do that. So we relied on my parents. My wife lived with us. We just got married 2 years ago, so that can tell you how long this whole journey went. Nicole went to summer school, pregnant, 8 months pregnant, finished summer school, graduated. I did not. I had that business, and I started letting my family take care of my wife and my kids. And that's what happens, okay? You don't have the responsibility. So you end up leaving the home and know that the kid is okay and you can do whatever you want. Mom or dad's got him. Well, what that does is open up the doors for, you know, a lot of craziness to happen, because you have pressure about having a child, taking care of the child, and it can push you over the edge quickly. When I turned 22, I started taking methadone, hydrocodones, Oxycontins. I know you guys all know this, and I know right now if I said, how many of you smoke pot? A lot of hands would go up. I won't put you on the spot because no one would raise their hand, but everybody knows. It is what it is. I mean, you think they don't know, but people know. It's the way you conduct yourself, how you move. I mean, everybody talks, okay? So if you think you're beating the system or winning, you're not, because I can pick someone out of a crowd like this that uses drugs pretty quickly, or be around them. So it changes your personality right away, first of all. Once I started realizing that I had to spend $20 on a pill or $30 or whatever I was spending, it was much easier to buy just heroin. And I started snorting heroin and cocaine at 22 years old. and I probably burned through about 100 grand, and my life was done. Wow. At 23 years old, I had 2 snowmobiles, a boat, a dirt bike, a jet ski. Any toy you could buy, I bought them because I was still living with mom and dad. That following year, the dealer had all of it. Everything I had for a toy, all my excitement, all my energy, that high that we want, I used to get on a motorcycle, okay? I used to, you know, hammer on a dirt bike, and I would get such a great high. And that's the high we want in life, okay? That's a good endorphin high, and it's very important. And if you're not finding it now, the one you find later is going to be this here, okay? So I started hanging out with a gentleman that was much older than me. I would, you know, just drain my account every day until it was empty. And I started shooting heroin. And if you mix heroin and cocaine, it's pretty much a methamphetamine. It's called chasing the dragon, okay? So where I started going is I learned how to shoot up, okay? And when I learned how to shoot up, my life was, it felt like the best feeling I've ever felt. I felt loved. I felt comfort. I never knew it was going to take me to where it took me, but I do remember that day. I can remember where I was sitting. I can remember how I did it, and that's how powerful it is. All this stuff that's going in my life, I still, out of everything, remember that day, okay? We lived in a little small town, and word started getting around. That's why I mentioned the talking thing. Our town was just like this, Stuyvesant, New York, okay? And the word, I played on a football team. There were some officers that played on the football team. I used to be able to go through roadblocks and give me the salute or the thumbs up. Well, I'm starting to get stopped, and I'm getting searched, and things are acting not the way I want it to go. So now you really start changing who you are, start changing your identity, because you don't want to be that person that's getting stopped. So now you're starting to change, and you're separating yourself from your core, from your family, who raised you and brought you to where you are today. Now, some of us probably have parents that are drug addicts, and you know what? You can help them by listening to me, I promise you. I got arrested my first time. My dad stepped in, bought a lawyer, this whole 9 yards. It was a possession charge, controlled substance. I got a slap on the hand. You know, we move on. Meanwhile, I am out of money and starting to steal from stores. Okay, I said, I won't steal from people because I don't want to hurt anybody. So I started stealing from stores, okay? And that becomes addiction, boosting. Boosting becomes an addiction. And I don't want to sit here and talk about my family and how many kids I have and things like this, because that really doesn't matter when it comes to this drug, okay? When it comes to partying, you guys really got to pay attention, because there's some of us in here that have already stole and got sticky fingers and got it behind their head that they didn't get caught. But you will get caught, okay? You will get caught. At the age of 23 years old, I go in jail for 4 days. And this picture here is when I am at my worst. That was my last run. But for 23 days, at the age of 23, 24, I go into jail, and I end up staying a couple nights. I get out, and my dad's like, hey, you know, do you see what you got? You got to stop doing this. Yep, no problem. Yep. Meanwhile, I know where I'm going. I'm going right to find it. And it became where that's all I thought about, okay? That's all I thought about. And each one of these photos is not just a arrest photo. These are booking photos. These are going to jail photos, okay? I've been arrested 56 times and convicted 43, okay? Up here is all different addresses that I stayed at where they got me. So you are very out of control when you are running this lifestyle, okay? Or you would just have one address, one mailing address, because the key to life is to have good credit, have a driver's license, have a mailbox, have a license that you can drive, and be a productive person in society. This right here is not productive, okay? This right here is just wasting people's money. And what happens is, when you get so deep into this addiction, you start looking for help, but you have to go down and get on Medicaid because you don't have insurance or mom and dad doesn't want to pay. So this becomes a game where you get accepted into rehab, and the people that are in there, 9 times out of 10, are in there because they got sentenced or something happened. They maybe aren't in there to work on themselves. And that addiction drives you right to that person. If you're not aware of it, it brings you right to the negativity, okay? So that's why there are so many different relapses every single time. So I ended up taking a time in my life where I would just be the mule, and I would run to the city for the dealer, I would pick up the drugs, and I would risk, okay, my daughter's life, okay? My daughter was 4 years old, in the car with me. I would shoot up, she would be behind me, I'd play the radio loud, I would shoot up, and I would head down the road. Not even, I would, as soon as I pushed the syringe in, seatbelt on, gone. Didn't even think about overdose or nothing. Didn't even think about her life. Okay? And, you know, it came to a point where I was like, all right, I was screaming out for help. So my family sent me to a therapeutic community. And a therapeutic community, you know, if you whine too much, you wear a binky on your neck, okay? If you get in trouble, they make you scrape the sunlight off the building. Shovel snow with a spoon. I had to dig my own grave and write an obituary, okay? I did all this stuff. 6 months. I'll never forget my daughter coming to visit me, running across the parking lot, and me tell her, I'll never do this to you again. I'll never do this to you again. Well, I'm very manipulative, and as an addict, that is a bad trait to have. So if you have manipulation in your blood right now, let it pour out on the floor, because it's not a good trait, okay, at all. And there's a lot of manipulators, I'm sure of it, in this crowd. It's natural. We can use it in a good way, but Manipulation at a teenager or in a 25 to 30-year-old brain, it usually isn't a good manipulation. You're trying to do something that is beating the system, taking a shortcut, and that's not where you want to go. Do not want to take a shortcut. So when I left there, I stayed clean for 1 month. 1 month. I remember going to Target. I remember calling a dealer. He said, bring me 2 DVD players for the back of my car. I did it, and the game was on. And when you start back up, it's 20 times worse as when you started. Instead of 3 bags a day, I needed 5 bags a day. Instead of 2 grams of heroin, I needed an 8 ball, of cocaine, I needed an 8 ball of cocaine. So I would have 2 syringes in my arm, 1 of heroin, 1 of coke, and I would work them both. That's called chasing the dragon. And people die like this. People die like this from this, okay? Especially nowadays. There's more overdoses. My school has lost 9 kids in the last 2 years to heroin. My best friend just lost his son to heroin. Now, I know I'm mentioning heroin, and heroin hasn't really hit this area, but the pills are here and it's coming. Okay, so I'm going to talk about it and know that that cocaine that I'm mixing is the same thing as doing a methamphetamine. What it does is it makes you go to the closet. Now, a lot of you said, I've done meth or I've done this and I've never done that. No, you aren't doing it right now, okay? It's not taking you there now, but it's going to take you there, okay? You will get to the point where you're looking through the blinds. You're picking the carpet. You're looking for the police, okay? Every day. You're pulling your visor down when you pass the police because you don't want them to see you. That's not normal behaviors. If you're doing those things, that's not good. If you see a cop coming towards you and you make a quick right because you don't want to pass them, there's something wrong inside. Because they're supposed to be here. They're supposed to protect. They're supposed to help us, okay? And I'm not saying you have to be a cop lover or anything like that, but if you feel that way, with your backpack on walking down the road, and I know some of us have gotten that feeling already, I hope he doesn't stop me, you know, it's not good, okay? When I finish the therapeutic community, I'm on the streets, you know, they could tell I was changing. I would wear sunglasses because I would nod out, or I would stay in the bathroom for a really long time, okay? And meanwhile, my daughter is being taken care of by other people. So I've already, the one responsibility in my life, I am not managing. And I'm not going to, whatever your higher power is, okay, he is not going to give you, or she is not going to give you anything else in life if you can't manage what you have. It's just reality. And at 25, I got a brand new pickup truck, and my dad co-signed for me. And I go ahead and I go down into the city, and I'm up in the high rise. I stayed up there for about 8 hours. And I came out, jumped in my truck, made 2 miles down the road, and I got T-boned. My brand new truck smashed, crushed. And I know all of us guys, we love our new rigs, you know. I had it all decked out, what I wanted, and it was really nice. And he did that for me because I manipulated him, that I was better, everything's good. I got 2 months on me, you can do this for me. So I decided to grab the mail and take the insurance check that we got for that truck, because it wasn't totaled, but there was about $12,000 in damage, and I cashed it. And in 4 days, I spent All of it. Every dime. I had 4 guys with me, and that's how quick you'll eat up money when you're in this addiction, okay? After the 12 grand was gone, I started stealing again, but I started stealing from my family, okay? I was at a point where I would steal your wallet, I would help you look for it, okay? That's pretty sick, right? And when you start doing those types of things, it's done. It's over with. You're very hard to stop it, okay? And you have to make sure now in life, because where you guys are, you check yourself every day. You got to evaluate yourself every day, because I did not. I never evaluated myself as a kid. You know, what am I doing? What are my goals? Where am I at? How far do I want to go? Am I going to go to college? What am I going to do? Okay? Because to go where I'm going now, deeper in this, gets really bad. And it will be to the point where you will think I'm lying to you. But after I went through the 12 grand and I, you know, just was destroyed, I would stay away from the home. And I would get so dope sick and tweaked out and twacked out that when I would cop, I would go right around the corner. There was a little store, and I would buy my bottle of water so I can mix everything up. I was at a point, if the store was closed, I would suck the mud puddle water right out into the syringe and use it. All right? I would catch raindrops driving down the highway just so I could shoot up. And when you're doing those things and you're at that level, which I don't believe there's anyone here at that level. There could be, but, and if there is, better speak up quickly. But you can be at that level very, very quick. Very, very quick. And nowadays, what is going on, anyone will do anything for $1. So they don't care about you. If they tell you, no, there's no fentanyl in it, or no, there's no this, or no, it's so pure, it's 83% THC, and all, that's all crap. Don't believe any of that, because it's fake. That is fake language, okay? They're not scientists, they're not chemists. You do not know what you're getting, okay? If you survived it, great. I have, personally, I've gone out many times and taken and, you know, take me to the hospital. I've been so whacked out I ran and jumped off a deck and ran through the woods when I heard I heard an ambulance coming down the road, and I was barefoot and he's talking to me, and I thought he called the cops on me, and I just ran, jumped off the deck. He couldn't believe it. I was gone. And that's when he knew he is messed up, okay? Something's crazy. And I took off barefoot, and I went to Walmart, and I stole a pair of shoes, and I went about my day like nothing happened, like nothing went on. And meanwhile, the police are looking for me because I have warrants, okay? And when you are going back to the driving and you're pulling the visor down, you're doing all this, you'll start taking different routes to stay out of that district. So you end up hopping all around, okay, like this. And I had 10 different courts, 10 different tickets, missing court dates. Never could I make it to court. So finally they scooped me up, and let me jump down here for a second. Finally they scooped me up, and when I was, this was this picture here, I believe, and if you could, when you guys get done here, if you walk by, look at the different changes in me throughout every arrest, from even the prom on down, okay? My rap sheet, like I said, is 70 feet long. So that's 70 pages, okay? So when I talk to you, don't be like, yo, this bum's crazy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I know what I'm talking about. Definitely. Okay? When you get into jail, it's called the chain gang. And it's criminal college. Because some of us work on ourselves, but most of us learn the game even more. You get new connections, you get new connects, you get all these phone numbers, and that's what you're working on. You're still working on the drug life. You have not grabbed a hold of it. You have not done anything, any homework. You haven't done anything. You already went to a therapeutic community, dug your own grave, and you're still going through this, okay? Now, meanwhile, I did have another child, okay? I do have 4 kids, and I have a beautiful wife. And now I have another child added to the mix. And 26, 27, Christmas time, I took all the Christmas presents and sold them and got high. Freaked out. Now, this is Christmas. These are my kids, okay? So, and this can happen on pills. This just isn't heroin or meth or coke. You can do enough Oxycontin. That's just a synthetic point of it, okay? So that's why it's so big, this opiate epidemic and all this that they're all talking about is so big, because they know that the pharmacy, what they're giving out is we are making it in our homes, okay? You guys are pressing Xanny bars left and right. You're leaning. I mean, I know the game, okay? The game never changes. The lingo does. And my daughter's 18, so I'm always updated on the lingo. You know what I'm saying? So you guys got to remember that when you're at this age right here, you got to make a choice in life what you're going to be. And if you're going to be a drug addict, you go right up to your parents and your teachers or whoever loves you and tell them, listen, I don't want to do anything good. I'm going to go do drugs, because you're going to save everybody a lot of aggravation. And nobody tells anybody that real, but it's real. Just go up to them and say, look, I want to do drugs. I don't want to be. And they'll either someone's going to stay with you and help you like my father did. I never went up and said that to my dad. I wish I did, because I wouldn't have to go through all of this. But when you get something and you get directions, you read them, right, to put something together. Well, these are the directions that I'm telling you. So you shouldn't ever, none of you should ever have to go through this if you just listen and know, like, and I'm not saying the party end of it can't happen, because I used to not listen to them DARE officers whatsoever. They would come into the school, I'd put my head back, go to sleep. I would not listen to them. But if there's party and you know that it's not that kind of party, I mean, there's always kegs, there's always tailgate parties. That's always going to be. And nobody's ever going to change that. They're just not. That's been a long tradition in life. You know, you grow up in country, you park trucks out in the fields and hang out and whatever. If you smoked a Marlboro cigarette, you smoked a Marlboro cigarette. It happened. But I'm talking about something totally different. And you got to know that. Because if you can't separate them two, none of this stuff sinks in. None of it. And you got to make sure you understand that I'm talking literally 2 needles in my arm. My back pockets are touching because I'm so thin. I have no teeth, okay? These are all fake. I lost all my teeth. And I was just like, my whole soul felt run down. And you don't have the power in you to get back up. You don't have the power to put the Jordans on. You don't have the power to put Abercrombie on. You don't have the power to do your hair or brush your teeth or look dope. You put a pajama bottoms on, baseball hat, hoodie, scuff yourself around. You lose all integrity of yourself. Okay? And the way you conduct yourself is the way people read you. I'm just telling you that. All right? And trust is the easiest thing to break, hardest thing to get back. Remember that. Trust is the easiest thing to break, hardest thing to get back. I go back, I get sentenced to prison, and when I get to prison, I find out there's heroin there. So, you know, like, I really settled in, and I got a little job, and I did not work on myself at all. And through the whole process, I had to fight, okay? And if you guys all don't think prisons are what you think they are, when you go upstate and you get into the prison system, it's real. Clinton Dannemora is a real crazy prison, okay? You know, there's a prison out there, Auburn. They're crazy prisons. They're max security. And I'm a little dude, you know. I don't have a small man complex whatsoever. I did when I was younger, and that was a big problem for me, okay? So if you do have that, if you feel like you need to wear bigger shoes or put 3 shirts on to feel bigger or sit on a book to feel taller in your truck, and you guys might say I'm crazy, but it's real. There's tons of dudes that are like that. And, you know, you were created this way for a reason. So be you. That's the key. You got to figure out your identity at an early age. So when I got out of prison, my first run, I was on parole for I was supposed to be on parole for 2 years, but I violated. And I just, every day would figure out how can I come up with 20, 40, 60, 100. How can I come up with some money to get my fix? And I would beg my parents. I would steal their jewelry. I would do anything. I sold a vehicle to a friend down the road and went and took it back and drove and went and got drugs with a car that's not even mine anymore and got arrested for it. So that's where my head is at this point in time of my life. Mind you, I have 2 children at home. My wife is getting assistance when she shouldn't be. I am a healthy person. I should be working, taking care of my family. So when you're getting assistance, you know, some of us need it, and that's okay. But some of us don't, and we're getting it. It's not good. It's just not what you want to be doing. You want to be earning your own living. You want to be taking care of yourself. You want to be managing your family. Okay, and that's why I tell you, your 5 main things. That's why I had the seniors stand up. It says graduate high school, get a driver's license, get a bank account, and keep your credit good. Okay? 9 minutes? Okay. So I'm going to speed this up quick because there's some other things I want to talk about, and I don't want to bore you guys. But like I said, all of these pictures is a true statement of what goes on, okay? But finally, in life, there's an object out there, an animal that saved my life, and it's a dog. And this program here in the prison, in the jail, it was a new leash on life. And I always loved dogs. I always could train, and I started. The captain called me and asked me if I would do the program, and there's this dog right here. His name is Eli. And he came in, and he was a beat-up little pit bull, mean, growled, and the captain said, I don't think we can keep this in the jail. I said, please, let me work with him. So every day that dog built. And I'm not, there's a lot more drugging and using, and, you know, it was 12 years of it. So I just can't, I don't want to just keep hitting on those points. But this program, this is when my life changed, okay? And that dog was abused and a mess, and so was I. And I have that dog today. My father adopted the dog. I begged the captain. I think I'm the only inmate that's ever adopted a dog after the program. But I ended up certifying 2 dogs for sniffing cell phones, and it built my confidence. Having the officers say, "Good job, Anthony," or "Good job, Farinacci." That's why, as a coach and as a parent, I tell all you guys, "Yo, good job," because you need it. You need it, because if you don't hear it, you don't feel like anybody. So that acceptance grew me big time, and this program here really helped me, and it just changed. It changed the way I thought about life. It put like love in my heart and my soul, and I don't know how to explain that. If you're empty feeling like that, it's hard to explain it. That's why I think so many people struggle with it. But you gotta fill the void. If there's a void in your life and you're just unhappy, you have to fill it with something. You have to pick a trade. You have to find something that you love and be the best you can be, okay? Otherwise, it can be gone like this, everything. If I stayed on track where I was when I had all those toys, I could be, who knows, maybe a millionaire right now. I don't know. I am not, that's for sure. So I just wanted to just kind of talk here today, not to preach to you, not to tell you not to party, not to have a good time, because that's just fake lifestyle. It's just not going to happen. After the prom, someone's going to have a party, and it's decision making. You guys have to know what is right, what is wrong. You have to evaluate yourself, know, okay, man, I know I love that stuff. Stay away from it. Discipline. Whoever your higher power is, believe in it, okay, because it's true. I believed in my higher power every day. I talked every day, and I talk a lot different to my higher power than most of you probably, because when you're in these situations, you just scream out for help, whatever you got to say. So, but he has helped me and is still helping me, and I just want to pass it on. I don't want to see kids struggle, because what I'm going to talk about next can happen also. And I haven't picked up, I haven't used in 8 years, and I will never go back to it. I'll never go back to that lifestyle, because it will tear you apart. It will tear your family away from you. It will make your kids hate you, and make your loved ones just not want to really be around you. And if you don't have a dad like I was blessed with, it's going to be very hard, okay? The grandfather tradition isn't around really anymore. Some of us have grandfathers, I'm sure, but that's another role model for you. So you need to find a role model. You need to find someone positive in life. Hang out with them. Don't try to become them. Become you. Don't try to become Jay-Z or Eminem. That they were them, okay? You need to be you, and if you go to that level, then that's cool. But a lot of us try to be other people, and we miss out on what we have. And we all have really good stuff, okay? Thank you for letting me talk to you all, and you guys have a great day.
You're with Think and Drive Live on Star 99.
Great Western Bank makes life great by caring for the community and our area youth. If we work as a team, then together we can educate and encourage family to focus on the main parts of our life, our youth. Great Western Bank is proud to be a sponsor of Think and Drive. This is Travis Vetch, Market President, Great Western Bank in Mobridge. Remember, the choices you make affect more than just you. Great Western Bank, member FDIC.
Family owned and operated since 1960, Lock and Oil LLC has proudly served Isabel, Dupree, and surrounding communities. Lock and Oil is dedicated to our area's youth, and they want to remind you of the importance of making the right choices. Lock and Oil LLC of Isabel and Dupree work as hard for their customers as you work for your family. So think before you drink and drive. Lock and Oil LLC is a proud sponsor of Think and Drive.
All of us at the Campbell County Bank are proud to once again sponsor the Think and Drive program. Kids face adversity, and whether they choose to drink and drive or text and drive, their actions can affect everyone in a split second, forever. Please take the time to talk with your kids about what they observed at the Think and Drive and Stay Alive program today. Proudly sponsored by the Campbell County Bank of Harriet and Pollock. Member FDIC.
Montana Dakota Utilities slogan, "In the community to serve," goes beyond providing safe and reliable electric and natural gas service. MDU and its dedicated employees are committed to the communities they serve, work, and live. Just like the dedicated area students are committed to their athletics, studies, and their future. We are proud to sponsor Think and Drive and hope our students will use the knowledge they've received to make better choices in the future. Montana Dakota Utilities, proud to sponsor Think and Drive and our area youth.
We know our youth are our future, and we need to do everything possible as adults to try to protect them. That's why we at Dakota Bank are proud sponsors of Think and Drive. Hi, this is Stephanie Fiddler, asking you to talk to your kids about the dangers of texting or drinking while driving, drugs, or any of the other harmful things that could come their way. After they have seen today's program, this gives you the chance to discuss what the program was about with them and hopefully help them to make better choices. It's up to all of us to make a brighter future for our kids, and that's why Dakota Bank is here for you. Dakota Bank, member FDIC.
Hello, my name is John Ayub, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer for Mobridge Regional Hospital and Clinics. Our competent, caring, and compassionate staff are ready and willing to serve you and your family's healthcare needs. There are hundreds of reasons you could end up in our emergency room, and we're prepared to take care of you in all of them. But please do not make it due to an avoidable circumstance or situation. If you're going to drink, don't drive, and always be sure to wear your seatbelt. Together, let's have a safe, healthy, and happy spring season. Mobridge Regional Hospital and Clinics. It's about life. It's about you.
Hi, this is John from Walworth County Implement. Not just today, but every day, let's remind our children that the sky is the limit and they are important, positive role models in our communities. Their choices affect everyone around them. Take the time to talk to your kids about not only what to do to be safe and the importance of smart decisions, but also the what-if situations that become lifetime consequences in a split second. It's not easy, but it is reality. All of us at Walworth County Implement support you and the bright futures of our young adults.
Hi, this is Michelle Jerome from Northwest Beverage. Do you remember the last time you said, "Wow, I'm sorry. I didn't think that could happen"? Guess what? Every time you choose to drink and then get behind that wheel and drive, those words could be said about you. Wow, I never thought it would happen. The fact is that bad things do happen to you. Please think before you get behind that wheel.
At the Holden Co-op, we're proud to sponsor this Think and Drive program. Hi, this is Amber. The future of our communities starts with our kids. Talk to your kids about what they observed at the program today and difficult issues they face every day.
And we're with you. This is Rick. Talk to your kids about decisions. They won't get easier as they get older, so let's shape their skills and keep them positively thinking about cause and effect. Their choices affect all of us. It's not easy, but it's reality. We support you from all of us at the Holden Co-op.
Some people just have a knack for being there when you need them the most. Like your third grade classmate who sticks up for you against that bully. The neighbor who gives you a jump start. And the friend who chases away that flock of geese at your outdoor wedding. Your State Farm agent has your back too, through good times and the not so good. And who's got your agent's back? State Farm, the company people have trusted for more than 90 years. We're here to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Doug Heil at 845-3603 today.
An RM60, he jumps the highway at my house. He's geared up 24/7, Fox gear, everything, okay? And he was at a friend's house, and he was riding, and he hit a tree at 50 miles per hour. This is a shirt. When are you gonna have it? Keep it. And there's a Gianni Strong website you guys can go and take a look at, okay? And you can look and follow it. But I want to talk about, that's the quad right there, okay? And my son was dead when I arrived at the scene for 3 minutes and 29 seconds. And I watched a flight nurse. That's why I said I always used to hate cops in uniform, but uniform saved my son, big time. And we can hit the next photo. This is Gianni in rehab. So, do you see the stud, the first picture that I showed you? That nice everything. And I'm not saying this isn't nice or everything, but this was not how he was created. And it was just because of a decision. He knows, okay? He knows what's going on. We've talked. He's at my house today. If you can go to the next picture, please. This is the first time Gianni hugged me after a coma. All right? So, when I tell you, now, imagine if he was under the influence, he would never recover like he did, okay? And our brains are different after 14 years old, okay? They took half of his skull and removed it. They told me when we got to the hospital, call all your family, because he was not going to make it. And I couldn't believe that I was going to have a son die. After all this, after all these hurdles, after going through all this stuff, you're going to take my son? But I prayed, and like I said, you guys can pray to whoever you pray to. And I reached out to a lot of people, and that's the key, reaching out to other people and bring you through it and get you through it. Next picture. Okay, this is big. You have to live life on life's terms. If it's not about life and it's not every day and it's not normal and and you're doing it, it's not right. Okay, it's not right unless it's being an entrepreneur and you're inventing something or something like that. Obviously, yes. But if it has to do with anything with brain altering, drugs, partying, anything like that, and other people, the normal average day person isn't doing it, you shouldn't be doing it. And you need to take a look at that, because that can be you in a split second. Okay? Can I just have that other picture real quick? The devil and the, please. Okay, that's my dad on the left. That's me on the right. No, just kidding. That's how you're going to feel, okay? If you don't feel that way, you know, then you're not really you're not working on yourself, because things are supposed to be difficult. Things are supposed to be hard. You're going to go through obstacles. But as long as that guy doesn't put your arm down, and you stay right there, you'll get through it, okay? And like I said, that can be anything. That could be your brother and your sister. That could be whoever you want it to be. But very, very important, you know. Watching my son, it changed my life. And I don't want any of you to have to go through that, okay? So please, make sure you just know that what I told you today about the fentanyl and all this stuff and the meth, it's real. Leave it alone. If your parents are doing it, don't follow in their footsteps, okay? Do not follow in their footsteps, because it's not what's supposed to be done. And I'm sorry you have to be brought up that way if that's happening. Reach out to somebody. Text me. There's a Facebook page, Crush the Epidemic. You can hit me up on it. Or you can go to Gianni Strong, Harrisburg, South Dakota, and check out my son. He's riding a bike. I got his race bike in the house, and it's stationary. So he is doing good. He had a plate put in Friday, and he came home on Sunday. So he's a powerful little boy. I watched him for 4 months fight like you wouldn't believe. And we have it so easy, okay? So easy. So don't complain about going to school. all you younger kids who look up to the seniors, all you seniors, you set the pace for the younger school kids. They look up to you. You don't think so, but they do. And it's just, that's how life is, okay? So all of you, thanks for listening to me. And I hope somebody got something out of it, all right?
Once again, we are with Star 99 Think and Drive Live on 99.5. We've got a couple of minutes until our next our next speaker here. He's a speaker that has been back quite a few times, actually probably every year since he's been doing this, and another speaker that I hope some of you have heard and a lot of you will listen to. You've heard a lot of stories here today, and you've heard a lot of discussion, especially on drugs, decision making, so on and so forth. But decision making goes above and beyond drugs and alcohol. As you guys have heard, in the recent news, there's been school shootings, right? That's a scary situation. Perpetrators have come into schools with guns, and there's been injuries, there's even been deaths. And that's scary. That's something that is very frightening. But what if I told you that that number is tiny and compared to who dies every year simply from texting and driving when you're kids? It's 11 a day. 11 kids a day die from looking at their cell phone while driving. Now, out of a show of hands, how many people have ever had a text so important that it couldn't wait 20 minutes? Now, they're being honest, I'm sure, but I'm sure that the select few that did raise their hands could have probably waited 20 minutes till they got home, or till they parked the car, or they could have pulled over in the situation like that if it is an emergency. In the rare event that you have something, a message, or something that needs to be taken now or read now, there's always the option to pull over. It doesn't take you very long to travel at 65 miles an hour to travel the distance of a football field in a matter of seconds. The distance of a football field in a matter of seconds. Now, how many of you have driven and hit a deer? Let's see, raise your hands. How many have hit a deer?
If you're looking for tires, look no further than Lucky's Gas and More in Mobridge. They carry Hankook, Hercules, Kelly's, Wild Country, Sigma Regent, and more for your cars, trucks, or semis. Right now, you can get up to $100 off a set of Hankook tires. Don't forget to schedule your oil change, too, while you're there. Choose from a large selection of tires on hand and save. Give them a call at 845-3382 to find out what deals they have on tires for you at Lucky's Gas and More in Mobridge.
First State Bank of Roscoe, Bowdle, and Eureka branches would like to remind all of our area youth as prom and graduation seasons approach to please be safe. We hope that you make many memories with friends and family in the upcoming months, but more importantly that you be responsible so that you are able to share those memories for years to come. First State Bank of Roscoe wants to see you be part of our communities in Roscoe, Bowdle, and Eureka for many years to come. Member FDIC.
CHS Northern Plains looks ahead, down the road, and into the future of farming. No one is born with awesome decision-making skills. It's learned and strengthened the more often you make decisions. We want you to look ahead to your future as well. Gather information, don't be afraid to ask for advice, and know the consequences or reward for every decision. Because as you get better at making decisions, the decisions you face in life will only become more challenging. Think and drive and stay alive. A message from CHS Northern Plains.
Great Western Bank makes life great by caring for the community and our area youth. If we work as a team, then together we can educate and encourage family to focus on the main parts of our life, our youth. Great Western Bank is proud to be a sponsor of Think and Drive. This is Travis Vetch, Market President, Great Western Bank in Mobridge. Remember, the choices you make affect more than just you. Great Western Bank, member FDIC.
Family Owned and operated since 1960, Lock and Oil LLC has proudly served Isabel, Dupree, and surrounding communities. Lock and Oil is dedicated to our area's youth, and they want to remind you of the importance of making the right choices. Lock and Oil LLC of Isabel and Dupree work as hard for their customers as you work for your family. So think before you drink and drive. Lock and Oil LLC is a proud sponsor of Think and Drive.
Will be Ken Ripley. So please help me in welcoming Ken Ripley.
Am I on? Can you hear me? Okay. If anybody can't hear me, please stand up at some point and say, "Speak up, dummy." So, thanks guys for all being here again. I know a lot of you have listened to me over the years, and it's been a lot of years. And every year I come to this, I think about what am I going to talk to you kids about? And those of you that have been before, you know, I've done the baseball bat thing. I've done empty chairs. Talked about the people who we've lost over the years due to texting and driving, drinking and driving, suicide, and all those things. And the different ways that I've approached it, I don't know, it seems like I get frustrated because it happens again. And I get frustrated because I look out here and I see my future in you guys. And you might think that sounds stupid, but I see my future in you guys. How you grow up, what you become, how you live is my future. Just like how you grow up, how you live, what you become affects the kid sitting next to you. So I get frustrated because year after year, there's another empty chair. And I think, what can I say? How can I change things? What different can I talk about to plant the seed of, I don't know if this is the right word, plant the seed of goodness in you. Plant the seed of thinking ahead in you. So, as a lot of you know, or maybe don't know, the people that I work with in this program know I never plan anything. And it finally hit me about 10 minutes ago what I'm going to talk about. I haven't had absolutely nothing planned for today. And when I do this kind of stuff, I normally never do have anything planned. It just hits me. And it finally hit me about 10 minutes ago when Tony said something, or AJ, I guess it is, Tony's dad. AJ's the guy that spoke. So that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. You know, you guys are growing up in a pretty tough time. I used to get frustrated with kids because, you know, we had it different. You know, when I grew up, things were different. We didn't have all the luxuries. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have Facebook. We didn't have computers. We didn't have PlayStation. We didn't have, you know, when we went outside and played, we used sticks for guns and made our own bows and arrows and guns to play cowboys and Indians and, you know, that's the way it was. You guys had it, you know, I used to get frustrated. You guys got it so good. You got all the cool stuff. lost kids out of our schools, our local schools, that I've talked about their empty chair from texting and drive. Now we all get that message that, oh, we can't wait, 10 seconds like Grant talked about to read the text. So we look at it, the next thing we know, we're dead, or somebody else is dead. And then there's Snapchat, WhoChat, Facebook, and it's so easy to say something that we don't think is a big deal, but it could hurt somebody. Could cut them like a knife. It could make them feel so horrible that they don't want to come to school the next day. That was one of the cool things about my day. When we did stuff like that, and we said something about a person that the other person didn't like, and when that person found out about it, it was, I'll meet you in the park after school. That was our deal, meeting in the park. Somebody's going to get ass whooping. I mean, it just was rolling around and grunting on the ground, but we thought it was an ass whooping. And a point was gotten across physically. Somebody got it right upside the head. Well, nowadays with all this technology, you don't have to stand in front of somebody and look them in the eye and call them a dork or whatever. You can do it with your phone or your iPad with Facebook or Snapchat. You don't have to see them in the eye. You're not going to end up in the park. You're just going to go chatting back and forth and texting back and forth and Facebook messaging back and forth. And you're never going to see what you do to that other kid. You're never going to see, you're never going to look that kid in the eye and see what you did to him. How you hurt him, how you cut him. And it can go to, simple things can go to the extent with just simple comments on media, social media. And we've had them here locally. And when it's being done, it's not being done maliciously, hatefully, and things like that. It's just kids stuff. But where we don't get to look each other in the eye and it's all done on a screen, you never see the hurt, you never see the pain that you cause. And you've never seen the face of the child that was hurt when I cut the rope to take him down from the rafter. I've seen a lot of those faces. A number of years ago, I seen 19 of them in 45 days. Right in our area. I saw those faces when I cut those kids down. So what's the point of all this? And this is what it hit me a little bit ago. The coolest thing in the world, I think, is to care and be an adult. Earlier I said something about how I'd kind of lost faith in kids and stuff, and it's just really stupid. I think it was Monday. Stopped at Grand Central here in town. The owner of the station had been gone, and one kid was running the joint. A couple of his buddies were standing there, and I kind of got reinvigorated with kids when I actually had an adult good conversation with Trey and Stone. They impressed me. Gave me some faith in kids again. So what do we do about this stuff? Like I said, so much of it isn't done really purposefully, and of course never face to face to see the hurt. I think we need to learn to care a little bit more about each other. I think we have to have faith in each other. Faith that you know that the kid sitting next to you is going to be there for you when you need him. I think we need to have hope that there is going to be a tomorrow, a next day, and 7 years from now, that we can continue. And the last thing, and the most important thing that we have to have, and yeah, I know you kids are going to look at me and think it's the dumbest thing in the world. We got to have love. No matter who you are, or what you are, what color you are, where you grew up, you give me 10 minutes or 5 minutes, and I can find something in each and every one of you that is unique, that's something that I could learn from you. Even as a kid, I can learn something from you. You give me 5 minutes and I can find something good, remarkable, amazing in each one of you. So rather than the next time one of us pisses the other one off, or we think we're better than the next one, rather than texting them and calling them a dork or whatever the case may be, sit down with them at lunch and say, what are you up to? What do you like to do? What is it about you that could make me like you? You'll be amazed about what you can learn about somebody. Caring for each other, no matter who you are, the lowest or the highest. You know, the short, and this is the young kid coming out in me a little bit, the short, overweight, non-athletic, probably pimple-faced kid is going to be the one that goes to microbiology and learns about bugs that's going to cure your kid from RSV, and RSV is a deadly disease for children. But that pimply little faced kid that likes science in high school and was a dork might become a microbiologist and discover the antibiotic that cures RSV in children. Every one of you is precious, unreplaceable. Unreplaceable. There'll never be another one of you. A unique thing. Never will there be a duplicate copy. So impress each other with caring. Caring. From the lowest to the highest. We're all the same. We all, and this is terrible because I'm on the radio, we poop between shoes. We all do that the exact same way. Nobody's any better. I'd like to get you going. But really, those three things, faith in yourself, hope in the future and each other, and love, care. That's what we need. And there won't be any more empty chairs. I promise you, there wouldn't be any more empty chairs. Thank you.
Let's give all of our speakers one more round of applause, please. I would like to remind everybody, please remain seated after the program. We will release you by bus, but we also want to thank, at this time, all of our wonderful speakers, families, and our sponsors, the City of Mobridge for the facility, Campbell County for their donations, the Mobridge Pollock Student Council for their help today, Andy Shue for his technical assistance, and of course, all of our terrific sponsors, Northwest Beverage, Montana Dakota Utility, Dakota Bank, Walworth County Implement, Great Western Bank, CHS Northern Plains, Mobridge Regional Hospital and Clinics, First State Bank of Roscoe, Hoven Co-op, Lock and Oil LLC, Campbell County Bank and Insurance Agency, Camberwell Electric, State Farm Insurance, Doug Heil, Lucky's Gas and More, Automotive Company of Isabel, Farm Bureau Insurance, Linda Gosh, Moser's Main Street Market in McLaughlin, Key Insurance, Great Plains Bank of Eureka, Cahill Bauer and Associates, Selby Veterinarian Service, Monaran Beal Insurance, Harriet Value Market, Gas and Goodies, Harriet Concrete, Morrow Grand Electric, and Kessling Funeral Home. Once again, this has been Live Think and Drive on Star 99.
Here at the Campbell County Insurance Agency, we care about the youth in our area. We would like to encourage them to attend this year's annual Think and Drive program. Please keep yourselves and others safe while on the road. From Tom Mitzel and Arnie Hansen at the Campbell County Insurance Agency in Harriet and Pollock. Insure today, be sure tomorrow. Think and drive, stay alive.
Utility slogan, in the community to serve, goes beyond providing safe and reliable electric and natural gas service. MDU and its dedicated employees are committed to the communities they serve, work, and live. Just like the dedicated area students are committed to their athletics, studies, and their future. We are proud to sponsor Think and Drive and hope our students will use the knowledge they've received to make better choices in the future. Montana Dakota Utilities, proud to sponsor Think and Drive and our area youth.
We know our youth are our future, and we need to do everything possible as adults to try to protect them. That's why we at Dakota Bank are proud sponsors of Think and Drive. Hi, this is Stephanie Fiddler, asking you to talk to your kids about the dangers of texting or drinking while driving, drugs, or any of the other harmful things that could come their way. After they have seen today's program, this gives you the chance to discuss what the program was about with them and hopefully help them to make better choices. It's up to all of us to make a brighter future for our kids, and that's why Dakota Bank is here for you. Dakota Bank, member FDIC.
Hello, my name is John Ayu, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer for Mobridge Regional Hospital and Clinics. Our competent, caring, and compassionate staff are ready and willing to serve you and your family's healthcare needs. There are hundreds of reasons you could end up